Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Reviewing Comics with me, your host, Alexander Turbin. Today we're going to be going over Grendel #2, and it is a pleasure. It's one of my favorite comic book series, my favorite comic book characters, my favorite comic book creators in Matr Wagner. And it was done back in 1983, so it's an oldie but goodie. But before we get into that, I'd like to show you some of my own work. This is Random Access, and it's a full-size, full-color comic book that I produce every month. And it's up to number 30, which just everybody got theirs today, or everyone got shipped theirs today. Sorry, it's a little bit late. You can get these at patreon.com/Alexander Turbin. And like I said, it's 12 pages of full-size, full-color comic book that I create mostly, but also have some backup stories by Paul Courtjohn and various other artists and stuff like that. You can also get these at alexanderturbin.com, and you could also message me at alexturbin0441 at Yahoo or alexturbin0441 at Instagram. So there's multiple ways that you can get it, or you could just message me here on YouTube, and I'm more than happy to oblige anybody that's looking to support my work, because I truly appreciate everybody that supports my artwork. And back to the show. So Grendel, like I said, is one of my favorite characters, one of my favorite storylines, one of my favorite everythings. We looked at #1, and the story so far was that Hunter Rose was this super intelligent, super just like a prodigy. He could do everything great. He was super smart, super gifted in everything. He met this woman because he was a fencer, and he was like a world-renowned Olympic fencer. And he met this woman, and Rose DaCosta Rose, and they became entangled, intertwined, and he loved her. And then she died. And one of the things that she used to say was winning the game. And the game was life and all of its different intricacies. And so he tried to create a legacy that would be worthy of the game. And DaCosta Rose, I can't remember what his original, Eddie something was his original name, but he changed it to Hunter Rose, and he became a crime lord. He became an assassin and then a crime lord, and he had his final showdown with Argent, who was his arch nemesis, who was like a werewolf kind of creature. And they through some weird machinations, they ended up on the top of a building, and they were just basically killing each other, and they were fighting each other, and they had this battle. And that's how it was shown in a series of flashbacks about what was happening. And because Argent had given Hunter, or Grendel rather, a blow that was going to kill him, a mortal wound, and he was kind of like lying there in his pool of blood, and just telling Argent, spilling his guts on Argent, and telling him everything about himself. And so then he was like, "What about you? How did you end up this way?" So this is basically the story of Argent and how he became the werewolf. So I am going to talk about Matr Wagner's art and his storytelling and everything as we go along as a book. I'm not going to go back and look at the writing and the art separately. I am going to have to do that again, because I haven't done that in a book in a while, and I kind of either both miss doing it, and I also think I'm missing certain aspects of the critiquing process. So I'm going to try to do that maybe in the next one, or the next indie thing I'm doing. I think my new schedule is going to be Monday. I'm going to go over an indie comic like this. The last one that I did was Ant Boy, Matt Fiesel's Ant Boy. And then on Wednesday, we hang out with Joe Leonardo, and we compare two different artists that we love, and then we continue to have a poll, and you guys can talk about who your favorite artist is and stuff like that. And this week is Sam Keith and Mike Mignola, and Mignola is just trouncing Sam Keith, so it's pretty much it's not a foregone conclusion, because there's still a couple days. So if you love Sam Keith, go vote and let everybody know where you stand. So And then Friday, I think, is going to be the Marvel DC day where I kind of pick certain things, whether it's Born Again or the Rogue back backstory or whatever that I've been doing. And I think that's how I'm going to proceed from now on for the foreseeable future. If you guys are cool with that, let me know. If you think I should just stick with all indie stuff, just let me know too. I love to hear your feedback. So it's Argent. Who Are You? Is the beginning of it, and it's the title is Grendel from Desire a Wolf. So one of the things that is fantastic about Matt Wagner's work in the early issues of his career, and like you can definitely see the progression from Primer to Grendel 1 to Grendel 2, which I don't love this issue actually as much as I did Grendel number 1. I still haven't actually read all of Primer number 1, or the story in Primer number 1. I think it's only a few pages, and I don't think it's the full thing, a full story. But I have seen a few pages, and they're really they're super raw, and you can tell that he's just grappling with all of these different things that he's looking at. And I mean, remember, it's 1983, 82, so there's really it hasn't comics hasn't blossomed into the indie scene that it kind of does in the pinnacle 1986, where Dark Knight comes out and Watchmen comes out and so many other fantastic books come out. I mean, there's surely a good amount of indie comics out there, and there's a great amount of regular mainstream comics too. But he's just kind of learning things. He's young. He's learning things. He's putting techniques into play that he has learned, and so he's learning his craft, and he, as you can tell, or as you know, or may not know, he then gets rid of all this stuff and he redoes it completely. This is like a first draft. This is a rough draft of Grendel. It later becomes a graphic novel, which I think is one of the most beautiful graphic novels I've ever seen, and I love it tremendously. But he throws all of this stuff away. He keeps the storyline, but he does it in a different way, a different, more enigmatic, more artfully done way. I think I don't know how to really say how he does it, because he does it completely differently. Where there's no dialogue, it's all text and narrative and stuff like that. So we're looking at Argent and how he became Argent, and he Hunters is like, I've bared my soul to you. We're at the brink of death. I'm going to die. You probably are going to either die or be paralyzed. So what's the matter? Why don't you just tell me who you are and your origin and stuff? He's very blunt about it. So Argent is like, okay, I will, since we're both going to die anyway. He says that he's an Algonquin. Our tribe lived in the area of Canada that today is known as Ontario. From the early age, I was trained in the ways of the shaman. Unfortunately, I was also a bit of a renegade. So it shows him and Argent as him as a Native American Algonquin. And I don't know if I like this shadowy thing that he does with Argent. It's very nuanced. It's very noir. It's very kind of the stuff that he's looking for. But I kind of wish he had gone with a little bit more detail. One of the things about issue number 2 is it's a little bit less detailed than issue number 1. And I don't know if that's a time issue or if it's him trying to expand his the way he's doing things a little bit more art nouveau or art deco kind of thing, which is what he really transitions to in the graphic novel. It's super art deco and really fits into the artsy world, because Hunter Rose is an artsy type of character, and it's an artsy type of story where it's very high class and there's lots of different they're taking on airs, I suppose you would say. So he was a shaman, and then he leaves his tribe, not because they want him to, but simply because he feels out like an outsider. He takes off, and then one of his friends from when he was younger grows into a woman, and she goes and visits him. I don't know if he's still supposed to be a shaman in training or whatever, but she goes to visit him and, be part of his life, even though he's kind of away from the tribe. This page I don't love. I love Matt Wagner's art. I don't. There's not many things that I don't love about his art. He's practicing with the spatter stuff, which you have to remember, there really wasn't in '83. There wasn't a lot of spattery stuff going on, so he is kind of breaking the ground. I would like to know who the first spatterer was. Anybody have any kind of inkling as to who the first person was to use an ink spatter? Let me know. If it was Sienkiewicz, I don't think he was in 1983. I don't think he was doing that kind of stuff yet. I think he was still in his Moon Knight, Neil Adams cloning phase. So he's doing this stuff, and the clouds and stuff, they're very heavily in the symbolicness. He's not into the texture. He's not into the any of the real detail. He's working symbolically. He wants just to tell the story. More of this battery stuff, although I do love the silhouettes. The silhouette of Argent here, it's just not enough work for me. I wish it was. It's not done in panels. None of this stuff is just done in panels in the beginning. Later on, it kind of transitions to a little bit of a panel by panel sequence. And this, I think, actually, now that I'm looking at it, I think it's supposed to be like a pattern from a rug, like a Native American design thing, because it has the same pattern going through the whole thing, and it has the same brush spatter going on throughout the first chapter. I think you would call that a chapter of the Argent relaying his past to Hunter Rose. So he tells that I'll just read it. It's not too much. Our tribe had suffered greatly of late in an epidemic of fatal ends. Our head shaman, an eccentric old bastard, claimed the only way to appease Maglowai, who is the god of the Indian Algonquin, our wolf-headed spirit of death, was to offer up a virgin bride, which was, of course, his girlfriend that visited him once in a while. But before she is sacrificed, she goes to visit him, Argent, and which Argent is a nickname later given to him by one of the reporters. But they have sex, and so she's kind of spoiled. But the wolf god, takes her anyway as his bride, and he's extremely angry at Argent for bespoiling, I don't know how to say it, spoiling anyway his new bride, and so he curses him, and he curses him by turning him into a wolf. He doesn't actually say werewolf, and he actually he says people had confused him with a Wendigo or a werewolf or something like that. So he doesn't consider him a werewolf. He's just sort of man-wolf hybrid, which is what a werewolf is. So I don't know what the difference is between Argent the wolf and a werewolf. So, hey, Matt Wagner, if you're out there watching, let me know what's the difference between a werewolf and Argent. So there's lots of walls of text. And it's basically just him saying that he was drawn, that the god, part of the god's curse, along with turning him into a wolf, was that he was drawn to the things that he hated before. Like, he did not like being in the tribe, so he went away. He wanted to be isolated and alone. But in this new Argent form, he was forced to go into where there's a lot of different people, and he was drawn to violence. He like hungered for violence, whether it's killing innocents or whether it's killing evildoers, but he was drawn to it. But he also has this this innate goodness to him and his moralities. So he did try to only hunt the people who were evil or bad or whatever, because they were the ones that were drawn to violence anyway. So that's where he was going to feed his need for violence, which, if you know Grendel at all, Grendel is it's a story of violence. Basically, the whole book, the whole series is an introspection on violence and how it affects people, how it affects everybody's life. and how it affects your soul and all this kind of stuff. They really go into quite a lot of detail, going through the whole regular series, the mini series, everything like that, all the specials. It's really an introspection of violence on society and as a person. So he explains all of this. He's eventually drawn to the big cities of the white man, where he does go after criminals and stuff, and that's where he's given the name of Argent by a reporter. And the funny part is that Mogwai no longer exists. A deity feeds off belief. When my people cease to the practice of their old ways, the god died out, but his curse lives on. So I don't know if I love this. It's kind of branches off into a different direction, and that Matr Wagner has been going this, like I said, this Art Deco kind of thing that he was going on towards the middle or end of the book. He goes from this Native American, naturalistic, no panels kind of thing to this panely, Art Deco-y kind of thing. So maybe this kind of stuff, it may fit in. I kind of feel like he did all of this stuff because that takes a lot of time, a lot of effort, and he's probably thinking about the rest of the story as he's doing all of this inking. And here's more shadows and stuff going on. He's also really going into the duo-shade, duotone kind of stuff. And I think that instead of the duo shade, he just chose to do this because I think he wanted it to be like an explosion of Argent, like he's birthing Argent and onto the scene. And maybe that's just kind of a guess, but he does leave this. I don't think there's any more indication of this kind of texture pattern stuff that he's doing. Here's some more spattering kind of stuff that he's going on with, that he's experimenting with, and it's unusual too. It's cool that this tapestry kind of stuff is also his the way he's using his dialogue and his word balloons and stuff. So I don't know if this is supposed to be a tapestry or his word balloon. That could be also too, which that's a really cool way of doing something. This is, so forget what I said about the tapestry. That was just me thinking that he was doing something that he wasn't. I think this is actually his giant word balloon. It is a giant word balloon being told by Argent and what's going on, and then it ends and into this kind of explosion kind of thing in this silhouette. So I really kind of dig that, even though I do wish that there had been a little bit more detail, maybe some more trees and stuff like that to show some of the backgrounds and things, a little bit more of his Native American upbringing and stuff like that. He really doesn't show that in the graphic novel either. So there's an Argent miniseries, which maybe I'll go through at some point, called Silverback, I think it's, or Silver Wolf or Silver something. And that, I don't remember me loving that, actually. I think that was not one of the things that I really loved. But anyway, so he's telling all this stuff, and Hunter is also kind of lamenting on the fact that they're both affected by women in such a way, because he had Stacy Palumbo, who was Jocasta Rose's daughter. No. Stacy is a ward of Hunter Rose, because Palumbo, I think that's his uncle. This is Harry Palumbo. I'm trying to remember exactly. But this is Stacy's uncle, and he is working both with Argent and with Hunter Rose, trying to get them to double cross each other, or doing a double cross, trying to get them to kill each other. So he's doing all of this stuff. I don't know whether he's a police informant or what, but Argent works with the police. So anyway, there's high society stuff going on, and there's a party going on, and Argent is there, and Hunter Rose is there, but obviously neither one knows who the other is. He doesn't know that Hunter Rose is Grendel, the assassin mob lord, and Hunter doesn't know that Argent is at the party in the shadows talking to this Palumbo guy, Barry Palumbo. I think that's his name. Yeah, Barry Palumbo. So he is the uncle of Stacy, who later is the mother of Christine Spar, and she becomes another iteration of Grendel. And I'm definitely going to go through that kind of stuff because I love Christine Spar, maybe even more than Hunter Rose. So they're at this party, and he's working on this double cross, trying to get Argent and Hunter to attack each other. So he says Argent leaves, and they've discussed this, what's going on with Hunter Rose. And Barry is like, you're an idiot, and says, fool number one. So then he has this discussion with Hunter Rose, and Hunter thinks that he's set up these machinations to have Argent be in a certain place, and they're going to have this battle or whatever, and he's going to end up dead and stuff like that. He thinks that he's trapping Argent, but Barry obviously has other thoughts, but Hunter Rose is always not nervous. He's always wary of anybody that he's working with, and so he just wants to show that he doesn't trust him. He doesn't trust anybody. He takes off. That's fool number two. Almost caught. So Barry's playing this really dangerous game. And then Hunter goes to the party that Barry's having. And he's talking to Larry. I can't remember what his last name. But Larry later works with Hunter. And it's very interesting because in the graphic novel, it says Larry starts to work for Grendel and the only reason is because Grendel lets him. It's not like they have this deep relationship or anything. He just lets him. So like I said, it transitions from this word balloon kind of thing, introduction to the beginning, that Argent was having to this Art Deco-y, Art Nouveau kind of thing. And I'm probably not using that word, so I'm sorry if I am using it incorrectly. There's a lot of negative space. There's not a lot of backgrounds. He's really very interested in telling this story of the party. I kind of wish there was a little bit more going on in the background. The word balloons, I'm not really loving. This cloudy thing is supposed to be for thought balloons, so I'm not entirely sure why he does that, but I think he hates it. I don't think he likes it at all, and I don't think he wants to go with the word balloons because, like I said, in the graphic novel, it's told entirely in text and there aren't any word balloons at all, unlike Mage, which is all word balloons and no text. So it's all dialogue. You can see some of the thick, heavy lines and the thick textures that he goes to and uses later on and in his other work. And I think he's just kind of experimenting with different textures and different lighting and different everything and trying to figure out what he likes and what he doesn't like. He really likes this feathering technique and this hatching technique, whereas I think in this original technique that I was talking about before, this kind of thing, he just kind of doesn't use it ever again, I don't think. Stacy, I don't think she's not the ward of Hunter Rose yet because Barry is still alive, but she knows both Hunter Rose / Grendel, and she also knows Argent, and she has a relationship with both of them, and she's like the woman, the girl, like when they were talking about on the rooftop, who connects them both, even though I don't think either one of them knows that they both have a relationship with the little girl. And it's not a sexual innuendo or anything like that. It's not any kind of pedophilia. It is, I think that Matr Wagner is trying to say that this pure girl, she's like the vibrancy of purity and goodness, and you've got these two violent, one evil and one just violent natured beast, and she is the thing that brings both of them down. So goodness brings both of them down, whereas it's not either of their own kind of ways that they live. That is what brings them down. So they're at the party, and Larry, Hunter is telling, or asking rather, Larry all of the ins and outs of all of the different people that are, he's asking him about the gossip, because Larry is, he's in the know of the high society, and that's where really Grendel wants to live. That's where he wants to kind of have his life in his world. So he kind of grafts himself to Larry, and he gets a lot of information from Larry. This panel here, I don't like it. It's crazily un-Matr Wagnerish. As you can tell during his growth as an artist, you can even tell that in there's an introduction to either Mage or Grendel, the graphic novel, where one of the editors or something talks about him slimming all of his characters down, and so that's what he kind of has characters with big hands, big heads, big eyes. He's very influenced by manga and anime and all of that kind of stuff, which is very, very obvious. But he soon shifts, probably after this, he shifts away from the manga style into more of a an American manga style. He does have a little bit bigger eyes, but he does slim them down a little bit, and I think it's just great. So like I said, he's working on his texture. He's working on everything. He's growing as an artist. He's using lots of different layouts and stuff. This circular panel going on with the Art Deco stuff that I was talking about. The use of the dual shade with the different values going up and from lighter to darker or darker to lighter, and just using the dual shade or duotone or whatever it is in those kind of aspects, not really having any in their faces or their expressions or whatever. He's not really going like a full white and a full black, because so much of his storytelling is the morality of being gray and not a full black and white morality. So there's the party going on, and Larry's talking about all of these different people that are having their different things and stuff. And Larry even jokes around. Grendel asks him, Hunter Rose rather, asks him how he gets all of this information. And Larry jokes around that he works for Grendel, which obviously doesn't, but he gets into his mind that maybe he should. So Stacy walks along, and she's just bopping around the party and going to one friend to another, and she's just a ray of light, like I said. And she finally goes back to see her uncle, and she finds him. Big eyes, screams. Hunter is very upset because he truly just adores Stacy and Larry, and they all go, and they see that Barry Palumbo has been killed. Obviously, it's some sort of poisoning or something, and it's not him. And I don't know who kills him. I'm gonna have to do a little bit of research on that. Do some go back and read the graphic novel, because I can't really remember who killed him, because I always thought that it was Grendel that killed him, but he says here that it wasn't him. So maybe he changes that. But we'll have to see all about that. So that's how it ends. And here's a little Grendel number 3 teaser where you've got Argent and Hunter Rose, and they're going to have their big fight on the top of the building that they have. And there's some advertisements for stuff. And here's an advertisement for Mage, the hero discovered, from Comico. I will always and forever say Comico. I'm never ever going to say Comico. So there's a lot to love about this. I mean, I love it. Seeing the roots of an artist and where they come from. It also shows where they're going. It shows some of the aspects of what they've done, and I really love it. There's a lot to digest when you're looking at his art. Like I said, I mean, it goes from paneling here to him telling his story in the word balloons, which is really fantastic, and I just didn't realize it. I'm kind of stupid, I guess, because I thought it was like a tapestry or something from the Algonquin, which I don't think is Algonquin. Algonquin. I think Algonquin are Maine too, are in Maine. Well, maybe that's Algonquin. Anyway, so it's a beautiful book. It's raw. It's young. It's earthy. It's there's a lot of things not technically fantastic about it. Stacy Palumbo, she is all little kids are hard to draw. They're incredibly hard to draw. Matt Wagner does it. I'm not going to say he does it beautifully, but he does it. You can tell that it's a little girl, and he struggles with it. He struggles with it just like every artist struggles with little kids. But it's there's definitely some indications of the way that it's going, and that's fantastic. It's always fantastic to check out new stuff from artists that they're growing and they're maturing and stuff, and it's a great thing to have. And this is definitely one of my prized possessions. So anyway, Grendel number 2. Let me know what you guys think, because I love to hear your opinions on things, and especially any Grendel fan out there. Is it hard for you to read something like this that's older and raw, or is it charming and fun for you like it is for me? Let me know, because I really want to know what you guys think. If you're new to the channel, this is the kind of stuff that I do. I review indie comics from the 70s, 80s, 90s, black and whites usually. But as I said, I'm going to be doing Marvel and DC and more modern stuff on Fridays for the most part. But let me know what you think. And like I said, if you're new, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell and all of that cool stuff. And as I always say, I really enjoy your comments. I love talking comic books to you guys, and that's one of my favorite things to do. So just leave a comment about what you think about the show, or the comics, about Grendel, about Matt Wagner, or about the poll, the Sam Keith and Mike Mignola poll. Mignola is crushing Sam Keith, but let me know who you like, and we can discuss it. I always love discussing that kind of stuff. So anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll be back on Wednesday with Joe for another artist comparison, and I'll see you this week. And until then, as always, keep on creating.